What's up, everybody? This is your North Node in Capricorn in the birth chart. I'm Will, this is Will Power Astrology, continuing my series on natal North Node positions. So, what is the North Node? The North Node is where the moon's orbit around the Earth crosses the Earth's orbit around the sun. Okay, so the moon's going to pass the Earth in front and then come back on the other side, and it's always going to be in signs that are exact opposite of each other. So in ancient cultures, they called this Rahu, the north node, and Ketu, the south node, is the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. The dragon's like, in a perpetual circle eating itself as we go through the zodiac as it goes around. And so what else about the north node? Right now, as I'm doing this, August 20 something, no, August 22 is what I meant to say. The north node is in Taurus. And then the next summer it's going to shift into Aries. So the north node is going the other way from the rotation of the planets, if that makes sense, because we're going around the sun and it's like an opposite kind of thing. Anyway, if you can hold some astronomy in your brain, I can vaguely conceptualize it, but it goes the other way. So we're going backwards from Taurus. And so now it's north node in Capricorn. So the meaning of the north node is it's our karmic kind of path throughout this life. It's what we're here to learn that's outside of our comfort zone. It's what we're here to experience and master that we don't have intrinsically within us. As opposed to the south node, which is where we come from in a past life. It's where we are comfortable being. It's kind of what we already know. I think of it as kind of being our superpowers. We start off with this really strong predilection for whatever the qualities of the south node sign is. So, all right. Oh, and so I didn't realize this, but north node in Capricorn going from the end of December to through most of January. I picked my Christmas mug today. I didn't necessarily plan on doing this, but Capricorn, Christmas time. Okay. So the north node in Capricorn, we are going to start off talking about the south node in Cancer. So we're coming from a past lifetime where we had to trust our own self all the time, and we had to work alone, and we had to trust ourselves, and we had to kind of find our security in our environment. Like the animal totem of Cancer is the crab. So that means that it's this hard exterior and soft, delicious insides, right? So you're going to go inside to retreat. You're going to go internal emotionally. You're going to, if somebody comes after you, you're going to pinch them. It's that Cancerian moodiness. They're very, like the moon rules Cancer. They're like the tide. They go in and out. And the moon goes through phases throughout the whole month. So Cancer is constantly like waxing and waning with the moon, right? And so as the moon is waxing and waning, and as the tide is going in and out, that little crab is sidewalking, trying to scramble to find something on the beach that they can hold on to so that they don't get tumbled around in this constant waves, right? So they're trying to find, I'm going to grab onto here, I'm going to grab onto there. And they're constantly scuttling towards security. And like the animal totem, they sidestep. They're not going to be directly confrontational. They're not going to just come right out and say, hey, blah, 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 it's this, it's that, this is bugging me, whatever. They're going to, they're going to come over here and kind of, what are you? So if we're coming from a south node of Cancer, we're kind of here to kind of get away from that. We don't have to just rely on our own selves in this incarnation. We actually are called in this life to get out of our shell, literally. Like, this is the one placement and position that you're supposed to get out of your shell and come out here into the public. So a south node Cancer is going to have a really strong gut reaction to things. They're going to have like a really like physical if they get hurt emotionally, it's gonna feel like somebody came up and just slugged them right in the gut. Like their emotions are so connected to their body that they can get overwhelmed by shit. So if they're having if something stressful comes up and they just, it can make them sick. You know what I mean? It can become something that it's like the nervous system just shuts down type of a moment. What else? Cancerian. So if I'm a South Node Cancerian, I'm feeling stuff very deeply and very viscerally. And a lot of times it's going to take me to a place where I'm going to like withdraw or retreat or kind of go be like, side step over here. Like, so that's not going to help us, because the more that we do that, the more that we engage with people in that way, the more they're going to kind of go, oh, I don't want to listen to your message. Okay. Because you're kind of here to do the Capricorn thing. You're here to learn, okay, I may be feeling this very strong emotion, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now to town hall and, make a law about it or some shit. You know what I mean? You're here to organize, and you're here to like take that personal feeling that you feel and bring it out into the real world. So what else? It's also, what else? South Node Cancer. This is going to be one that's hard, because I feel like this is, and the true would be for North Node in Cancer. They say we need to get away from moodiness. But the thing is that both Cancer and Capricorn are really fucking moody, but it's in different ways. Like Cancer is like the mother, and it's about the moon, and it's about the menstrual cycle. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, my period. But it is kind of tied up into that. So like there's a buildup and a release, and like a, maybe it's like a dry, there's no emotions for a while, and then there's like a super high tide, and it's like, fuck you. So Cancer is emotional in the way that they feel that it's like, I think of Cancer, it's like the fountain of youth, and it's bubbling up from inside, and it's giving you these impulses. I feel this way. I feel that way. We should get out of here. Do you know what I mean? Like Cancer has really strong intuitive and emotional impulses. Very, very psychic and vibey sign. But ultimately it has to do with your own subjective, like internal experience. Like almost none of the other signs are as inwardly focused as Cancer is. So as much as your feelings can be overwhelming, what we're here to learn how to do as North Node and Capricornians is to master that emotion, and then to take it into the real world. What else? South Node Cancer. South Node. So basically, I was talking about emotionality. So Cancer is going to be really emotional, and they're never going to be able to kind of hide their emotions, because it's just always on their face. It's all you can see it in their eyes. Like Cancerians, if they're excited about something, they start talking louder and louder, and then they're like Cancers are notoriously just loud talkers and loud laughers, because if they're feeling it, then that volume just rises like with their excitement, and then it kind of, you know what I mean, goes away the same way. So Capricorn is emotional in the same, not in a different way. So we're not getting away from moodiness here. I just want to be clear. There's definitely an emotionality to this axis of Cancer and Capricorn that you can never escape, because Capricorn is about this kind of, it's ruled by Saturn, whereas the South Node of Cancer is ruled by the moon, which waxes and wanes. It's about the mother. It's very maternal. It's about emotions and intuition and flow. Saturn is about lessons and boundaries and restrictions and trials and life lessons and shit you have to go through so that you can learn how to be a grown-up, so you can learn how to take care of your shit. So like, if you've ever heard the expression Saturnine, basically it means like it can feel really heavy, or it can feel very gloomy, because you have to deal with all these responsibilities all the time. And especially for you, you have to learn how to avoid running away from responsibility. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I think, think of Zoidberg. Whoop, 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 whoop. If you know Futurama, you got to stop avoiding things and you have to start taking on the mantle of responsibility and being like, I'm the one, I'm in charge. Not only am I in charge of me, but I'm in charge of this. Like whatever this is that we got going on here, I'm in charge of that too. So you're here how to learn to be the boss. And a lot of times it's like that heavy is the head that wears the crown. And so Saturnine, gloomy. Saturn is giving a heaviness and we're going, oh, like, so Capricorn is moody, but it's because they're going to lean more towards depression and they're going to lean more towards like being extremely disciplined. And if they don't hit the mark of exactly how they wanted to get it, they're going to be so hard on themselves. So it's like going from this kind of go with your emotions, go with the flow, go with the moon. We're going to feel one way at this time. We're going to feel another way at another time. And we have to learn how to be this very constant, very like, we have to have a vision of the future and then we have to go build that future. So the responsibility is on you to organize what you want to see. The more you go, oh, I can't, oh, I'm emotional, I'm sad, then it's just going to crumble away. It's going to wash away. So I think of Capricorn, I think I mentioned this in the other videos, that the earth signs have a progression of Taurus is I made a brick. And then Virgo is here's how I made the brick and here's how I distribute it. And then Capricorn is here's why I'm using these bricks. I'm building a foundation. I'm making a castle. I'm building a moat, or whatever. I'm securing my lifetime. And not only, and like Capricorns are thinking about securing their kids' lifetime and securing their grandkids' lifetime. Like Capricorns have an eye on the future because it's ruled by Saturn, who's like the time lord, who's like father time. This is why New Year's, like my New Year's cup here. New Year's is shown as an old man and a baby because it's a very Capricorn thing because it's that renewal of cycles, but it's eternal. It's a long, a lifetime is years and years and years and years and years long. We get older, but then we still become new and older and we still become new. So it's up to you to start putting yourself through the steps and putting you through the steps that you need to do to get there. Like nobody can do it for you. And literally, like nobody can even really help you because this is about mastery of kind of your emotions and how you want to manifest shit into real life. The earth signs have to do with the material plane. Like I can touch this cup. It's not about like I'm conceptualizing a future and we're all singing and dancing or whatever. It's like I'm doing this thing and I'm going to show you. You know what I mean? Like Capricorn is one of the hardest workers of the zodiac. If they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And if you get in their way, you're going to wish you hadn't gotten in their way. You know what I mean? There's a ruthlessness to Capricorn. Once they have their eye kind of set on a goal, there's kind of nothing that can stop them. Like think of that goat. It's like bouncing up the side of the mountain on like a 2-inch rock. It's like, how are you even doing that? And then, and talking about animal totems, the Capricorn is the sea goat. So it's not just this land creature. It has the tail of a fish. So Saturn can sink down into the ocean or into the emotions so heavy as well. We have to deal with fear a lot in Saturn and Capricorn. We have to deal with like feelings of inadequacy or feelings of like not being able to keep up. And Saturn can really pull us down into the ocean like that. But Capricorn can also bound up. They can climb up to the top of the mountain in a way that nobody else can. Like Capricorn at the top of the mountain, nobody else can reach them. You know what I mean? Nobody else can achieve what they can achieve. Nobody else can do what it is that they do when they're at the top of their game because they put in the work, they have a standard of excellence, and they don't fuck around. You know what I mean? They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're not going, oh, my emotions and my past, because they're like, they have this grit and they're like, fuck you, and I'm doing the future. You know what I mean? What else? Cancer and Capricorn. These are the dates. These videos are so scattered. I'm sorry to whoever's watching these or like looking for some type of consistency. I'm just sitting here and talking about whatever I want to talk about. So if you have the North Node in Capricorn, these are the dates. So the upcoming one is March of 28 to September of 29. So at the end of this decade, we'll be having a North Node in Capricorn transit. The last one to happen was August 21st of 09 to March 3rd of 11. So this is the beginning of, actually, this is when Pluto had just moved into Capricorn as well. So this is Gen Z is done being born. We're in 2009. Gen Z is done being born. And now the Gen Alpha kids of Pluto and Capricorn are being born. And this is the kind of one of those first incarnations of the North Node within that generational transit. Almost like the first of the millennials of Pluto and Scorpio, where you have South Node as Scorpio, but the opposite. Anyway, you know what I mean. Ooh. All right, so these are just kids. These are like just turning teenagers. They're turning 13 this year, 12 and 13, 13 and 14. They're kids. So like the very, very tail end of the Gen Z kids are like turning like 18 right now, like something like that. No. Like 2008 to 22, 14. Yeah, the youngest of the Gen Z kids are like 14, 15 right now. And so this is the beginning of the Gen Alpha kids. Anyway, so the millennial placement for this is November 18th of 1990 to August 1st of 1992. The Gen X placement is April 27th of 72 to October 26th of 73. The baby boomer placement of this is October 8th of 53 to April 2nd of 55. And then I made this video years ago talking about the generations, but I don't know if this is the silent generation or the greatest or the GI generation, but the 30s was March 8th of 35 to September 14th of 36. And then in the teens, it was May 31st of 16 to February 13th of 18. So let's talk about now, we talked about all this stuff kind of about the South Node. We're being over emotional. We're like, So we're here to kind of learn how to be grown-ups. And it's going to feel foreign because I think that this sign and these people are going to get infantilized a lot, especially y'all millennials. Y'all that were born 90 to 92 of this sign. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I've done some infantilizing of millennials born in this time. Ha! But also they deserved it. So, just talking shit. Okay, I feel like people are gonna see you as being incredibly emotional, and you're gonna have to start being like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm doing this thing. This is how we're gonna do it. This is you know what I mean? It's gonna feel foreign to you to kind of feel like you want to step into that. But you're gonna learn that when you decide what to do and then you just go do it, people are gonna get in line. You don't have to, you may feel like, I couldn't possibly, I'm just so scared. I'm just so nervous. But the second you start going out there and asserting yourself in public, that's when people are going to be like, yup, I'll listen to that dude. I'll follow that chick. You know what I mean? I will listen and go to wherever they want to go. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the dichotomy of, we need to move into this place of adult responsibility and public, like forward-facing action. Because Capricorn is associated with the 10th house, which has to do with our public life. And it's who you are on the stage of the world. It's who you are when you aren't there to represent yourself, basically. And I think I always mention Alyssa Sharp. I think that, she had a video recently about how she's the mother of modern astrology. And I'm like, kind of, hey, Capricorn, the 10th house is who you are on your social media profiles. It's how the world sees you in public. So Your fourth house, or what's associated with the sign of Cancer, is about your internal feelings, like your deepest internal emotional development. It's the core of who you are on the inside, right? But we're going to that public face. So you kind of have the superpower of, you can learn how to water your own roots, and then your branches grow tall, if that makes sense. Instead of waiting for other people to water the shit, you water your own self, and so you're gonna follow those Cancerian South Node emotional, intuitive vibes, and you're gonna take those vibes and you're gonna do some shit in real life that's going to make your situation better, improve the people's situation around you. Capricorn people can be very focused on their career. So maybe you're gonna make moves, maybe you're gonna get ahead, but these people are very inclined to, they're gonna learn responsibility during their life, because the more that they shirk responsibility, they're just gonna keep getting dumped on it. Their situation won't change until they learn how to be like, I'm responsible, it's my shit, here we go, blah, 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 blah. So, like, what else? Cancer, Capricorn, 4th house, 10th house. Emotions, let me say this, especially for y'all of this sign, emotions are only going to take you so far, because your emotions are going to constantly change. Some people have more fixed energy when it comes to like their emotions of getting shit done than you do. You're gonna be like really passionate about stuff for a second, and then you're gonna kind of peter out, and you're gonna maybe lose interest, or maybe find a different interest, or maybe, you know, take a depression nap and never get back to it. You're here to learn how to power through. You're here to learn how to have like a drive that sustains you over time, because Capricorn's about the long game. So nobody's gonna be able to. It's not a what's that? Like a baton race. It's not like I run a lap and then I pass you the thing. For you, this is a marathon. And until you start learning your pace and learning how to keep your own energy going without needing to be mothered, or without needing to have other people water your roots so that you can grow strong and have branches. Once you learn how to do that yourself and you can sustain your own energy, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to be able to see a vision of the future and go take the steps to make it happen. Like I think I was talking about during the Pisces one, that Pisces can like dream up whatever they want to have happen, and it just kind of happens for them. Pisces version of that is a lot more psychic. It's a lot more literally like spiritual vibes that you can never explain, because it's a water sign. It's the 12th. It's in a mystic house, and then the Aquarius version that we just talked about in the last video has to do with other people and connectivity and connections and growth and kind of sharing and being an individual and just kind of being like, I'm awesome. But this has to do more about you working your ass off. You're going to get put through your paces with this North Node. You're going to have to learn how to take responsibility, because other people aren't going to do it for you. And nobody's going to help you get to your ends if you aren't the one out here being a leader to do it. So, yeah, that's your North Node in Capricorn.